behavior, your neighbor, even when stability's...
Number 4. The handling of Electro. You're a nerd butt monkey who recently acquired dangerous abilities and is struggling to handle them. If you think like this movie, you become an evil supervillain on a whim! And that's exactly what happens. In this film, Max Dillon, played by Jamie Foxx, is a geeky, borderline obsessive Oscorp employee who happens to be saved by Spider-Man from a taxi during the Rhino's theft, and such begins to feel connected with Spider-Man as he saved him, and that somehow made him special, despite saving people being part of Spider-Man's job description. And how did he get his powers? Poor safety standards at Oscorp, as he fell into a pit of electric eels as he was doing some repairs above said pit under orders from Alistair Smith, his supervisor. He found he got these powers and inadvertently caused havoc around Times Square, naturally getting people frightened and the cops firing on him despite Spidey's attempts to calm him down. And who should his target be? The corporate scumbags that essentially killed him, or the innocents who had nothing to do with it? We're in a generic, badly made superhero film. You can guess what he does. Now, if the writers were smart, and there were a lot of writers, they would have made him more like Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2. A sympathetic villain who didn't want to be evil, but was warped and twisted that way. And in this instance, maybe the twisting would be done by the Osborns, so that he doesn't blame them for his condition, but rather our resident web-slinger. And throughout the film, he basically forgets that Oscorp made him like this, blaming Spider-Man and everyone else. And eventually teams up with Harry Osborn, though admittedly, Harry wasn't part of what happened to him. He later takes out all the power in New York. Hey, where'd he get that jumpsuit? Is his powers literally limitless? And in his final encounter with Spider-Man, plays a dubstep version of Itsy Bitsy Spider before being beaten and seemingly vanishing. Though he'll be back if the film got a continuation.
Behavior, your neighbor, even when stability's...
Number 5. Magnetism. After his first encounter with Electro, Peter seeks a way to make his web shooters resistant to Electro's powers, as one of his web shooters was damaged. And how does he decide to learn about magnets? YouTube videos! YouTube is where people go to watch funny cat videos, lists, and unpopular critics reviewing box office failures. You don't use YouTube to learn about advanced magnetism. Peter should know this stuff already, or at the very least be looking at a college-level book about this concept, and that would give him a more suitable answer. And how does he eventually get his solution?
Did you try magnetizing them?
Just an example of how inept this film's writing is. Gwen's not a scientist. Peter is. And at no point did Peter figure this out. What an idiot!
Behavior, your neighbor, even when stability's never...
Number 6. Peter's investigation into his father. The film tries to have a story thread about Peter looking into what his father was up to before he died, showing that someone wanted him dead as there was a fight on an airplane between Richard Parker and an assassin. Though there are much easier ways to kill the Parkers than shooting them. Despite Mr. Parker having no fighting experience whatsoever, he manages to fend off the assassin and backs up his files on a Sony laptop. A lot of Sony product placement in this film, before losing the laptop and eventually his life. During Peter's investigation, in which Aunt May reveals the FBI were investigating him, Peter finds subway tokens hidden in his calculator, because any reasonable man would hide his subway tokens inside the battery section of a calculator. Venturing to the subway, Peter finds a video of his father, where Mr. Parker sprouts more exposition about his genetics research at Oscorp that he sabotaged by putting his own blood inside of the spiders, meaning only his bloodline could utilize it. Sort of explaining how Peter got his spider powers. And what was the culmination of this look? Nothing. This had no impact on the plot whatsoever. Let's be generous and assume they had this as a sequel hook, but with such an important plot point, it deserves to have resolution in the very same movie it gets introduced in.
The behavior of your neighbor.
Number 7. Harry Osborn. In this film, Harry is played by Dane DeHaan, who previously had an impressive turn as Alex in Chronicle, and sadly, he's given nothing to do. He just whines and sits around, wanting Spider-Man's blood to cure the disease that killed his father and was now slowly killing him. Though he's shown the signs a lot sooner than his father. Plot hole, people. And Harry throws a tantrum when Spider-Man refuses, thinking it'd be too dangerous. Okay, this one's to Spider-Man. Do you think Harry would be stupid enough to inject himself directly with your blood? Or maybe I should be questioning Harry. Are you stupid enough to inject yourself with Spider-Man's blood? Anyway, he tries to get information directly from Oscorp, only to be locked out of the loop by Donald Mencken, played by Colm Farrell, who stages a corporate mutiny and kicks him out of his own company, knowing full well he will die. As a result, he enlists Electro to get even and forces Mencken at gunpoint to inject him with the spider venom from Richard Parker's experiments. This results in him becoming the Green Goblin, driven insane by everything he's been through, and what happens next, I'll talk about later.
The behavior of your neighbor, even when stability's never.
Number 8. Too many villains. If you haven't surmised it, one of the film's big issues is that it has too many villains. Electro, Green Goblin, Rhino, and Dr. Ravencroft. Plus, corrupt executive Donald Mencken. This was the exact same problem Spider-Man 3 suffered from, making it clear that Sony wasn't learning from its mistakes. They were too focused on getting this film to be a prequel to Sinister Six, the signs of which were unsubtle to say the least, and had that film scheduled for November 2016. But there were quite a few issues with this strategy. You can't make a spin-off film unless the original had enough of a fan base and goodwill to justify it. And the franchise didn't have enough of either, as this was only the second film. I know that the Minions had their own spin-off after 2 films, but they had far more popularity than any of these characters. Secondly, with its scheduled November 2016 release date, it would have come out 3 months after Suicide Squad beat it to the punch. Third, can there be a Spider-Man cinematic universe? In theory, I suppose it's possible, but you need a lot more characters for future films that aren't Spider-Man. And Marvel happens to have the rights to most of them. Speaking of, a good comparison to this film would be Iron Man 2. Which is my least favorite MCU film. However, that film was only flawed in its tone. The integration into the Avengers and MCU as a whole was actually done well and fit organically into the story. Unlike this film.